Thank you, GIFPMA, for organizing this networking session. Over the next 15 minutes, I will try and give you a brief overview of what's happening in the Indian real estate market. We'll cover all asset classes with a little more emphasis on office, but we'll also touch upon investments, retail, and residential. So, what's happening currently can be divided into two different parts. One was the phase pre-Modi. There were a lot of corruption, policy paralysis, inflation, high interest rates, infrastructure issues, lack of decision making. And post-Modi, at least over the last 1 year, we're talking about a lot of growth, reforms, investments, low corruption at least till the last couple of weeks, and higher international visibility. Potential derailers, what we believe in the Indian real estate sector today is corporate India is getting a little jittery about speed of decision, non-delivery of promises. Grassroots level changes are yet to be seen. A number of stalled projects which were expected to revive, that's still not happened. Interest rates correction, although a couple of cuts were made, is still not up to what the industry is expecting. And bureaucracy is not yet willing to change. This could be the potential derailers for the sector. Looking at the macro view of real estate, it's a very interesting slide. What this slide talks about is back in 2009, construction activity happening in the country was 50% residential and 50% commercial. Today that's become 84% residential and 16% commercial. So from a 50-50 ratio, residential commercial construction has become 84-16. And that's why you keep seeing newspaper articles about how the residential market is going through a tough phase, while commercial has bounced back, rentals going up for office space, while unsold inventory in most parts of India today range between 30 to 40 months of unsold inventory for residential. So there obviously the buyers are not coming. Prices have gone up in markets like Mumbai. Since 2009, prices have gone up close to 90%, which has obviously made it more unaffordable, and buyers are staying out of the market. So the main reason behind this huge oversupply of residential, which we all keep reading about, is this: the high under construction of residential. Again, look at the construction activity. The first line used to be just $90 billion of real estate was under construction in India in 2009. And today that's a staggering 270 billion. So in spite of the tough phase of the last uncertain phase over the last 5-6 years, we are seeing huge amount of construction, and much more construction than what was seen before. This again an interesting slide. The gray line in the graph shows you how the BSE Sensex has behaved, the BSE stock index, while the red mark talks about how the real estate stock, the BSE Realty Index. So just see the difference. The old, it's crossed the old peak, doing very well, and look at how the real estate index has performed. I was just checking the numbers yesterday. During the peak, DLF's market cap was 110,000 crores, was the DLF's market cap. As of yesterday, it was 20,000 crores. So close to 90,000 crores of market cap of value has been eroded for a stock like DLF. Unitech during the peak in 2008 used to be 45,000 crores was the market cap. As of yesterday, that's 2,000 crores. So 45,000 crores has become 43,000 crores of value has been eroded, and that's the reason why you see the realty index at this shape. That's the reason why we haven't seen any new IPOs in the real estate space, because the public won't come to the public markets for a while now. The total debt today, which is interest costs of real estate developers alone, stand at around 5,000 crores as we talk. Overall debt is close to 60,000 crores of debt the real estate sector has taken from banks and financial institutions. At 5,000 crores of annual interest cost, that amount is bigger than 44 listed real estate companies in India. Market cap of 44 real estate companies. So that's the quantum of debt which Indian developers today are sitting on. People like DLF have crossed 20,000 crores of debt. If you look at a 20,000 crore of debt, if you look at cost of capital of 10-12%, we are talking of 2,200 crores of interest payment every year. When you have a top line of 6,000 crores, how will you show profits? Again, a reason why realty index is down so much. Again, an interesting slide. JLL globally does a transparency index. We rate countries on transparency. Very, very well respected medium on transparency. It's a global paper which we come out every year. So in 2008, India was ranked 50, the top tier 1 cities. Today we are ranked 40. So something to cheer about. Transparency has increased. Professionalism has increased. The industry has become more organized. A lot of FDI has come in. I'll touch upon that slightly later. Look at our ranking in 2012. It had gone down to 48. And again, it's improved because of the last initiatives of the government over the last 1 year. And kind of trying to make it more transparent, it's become 40. So a little bit to cheer about. The new government, a lot of work in hand. The real estate regulatory authority, what we call as RERA, will be a game changer for home buyers. Is expected to be cleared in the monsoon session starting in August. It'll be a big game changer for people like us who go and buy homes. Very tough rules so that developers will deliver their projects. The land acquisition bill, again, last leg of approvals. I again feel this will be cleared during the monsoon session. Real estate investment trusts, again in the last leg, 3 out of the 4 concerns which the developer community has been resolved. 100 smart cities, you saw the announcements yesterday, where the government has outlaid nearly 50,000 crores for smart cities. So these are 4 big initiatives of this government. Previous government also had some of this, but these would be typically big game changers for the industry if the government could action some of these projects. On the private equity side, what we have seen is close to $12 billion have come in foreign direct investment. And close to 22 billion has come totally from the private equity side. So 10 billion of domestic capital and 12 billion of foreign capital, totaling 22 billion. Over the last few years, if you look at the graph, that number stands at around $1.5 billion the last 3-4 years. Compared to globally, foreign private equity is close to a 500 billion number, and India is just around 1.5 billion. So that shows how much of growth potential is there in a country like India. Again, private equity, most of private equity has gone 35% in residential, 30% has gone into office, 12% has gone into entity level fundings, and 13% has gone into mixed use. Most of the overall foreign private equity investments have come in tier 1 cities. Mumbai has got 25% of it, NCR has got 30% of it. India has seen, of this 22 odd billion invested, we've seen nearly 4 billion of exits, so still a lot of money to be exited. We believe REIT compliant real estate would be around $15 billion of REITs could be set up in the countries over the next 3 to 5 years. Big positive. What's happening in the office space segment? What one needs to notice here is if you look at the overall supply back in 9, 10, 11, It is in the 40s, 40 million, 42 million, 44 million. Look at that now. It's come back to the 30s. So that's one aspect. If you look at the overall demand, it's again been steady at around 30 million. This year, we believe for the first time in close to 7 years, we're going to see demand more than supply in the country for the first time. Demand we expect to be around the 32, 33 million square foot mark. Relevant supply, a lot of supply which comes to in the country which is not very relevant. We expect to be only in the 24, 25 million mark. So demand of 33, supply of around 24. Again, good news for commercial construction. Total stock in India, you add up all the cities, works out to around 410 million square feet is the total stock of office space. New York alone, one city, is 600 million square feet. So shows the amount of potential which India has for office space. The two biggest office markets in the country are Mumbai and Bangalore. Both of whom have nearly 100 million square feet each. Vacancy rates today are in the 16% mark. Again, an interesting slide. If you look at third quarter of 2008, which was just before the Lehman crash happened, as the peak of the market, and give an index score of 100 as the rental score. If that was 100 in terms of rentals, where are the markets standing today? Bangalore has revived. It's come back to 103. It's crossed the old peak. You have Chennai, which has come to 98. You have Pune, which is at 88% mark. Look at Mumbai. We are talking of suburbs in Mumbai at 69. And main city in Mumbai just at 60. Again, a good indicator that rentals in Mumbai over the next 3-4 years will see consistent growth, because the market has kind of bottomed out and it's not expected to go down further. When all other markets have reached the 100 level, Bombay is still sitting at the 60 to 69 range. This is an interesting slide. ITS contributes to around 36% of the overall space absorption in the country. 15% is BFSI, telecom, healthcare, the various services industries around 26%, and manufacturing around 13%. That's the overall space take-up. Very interesting slide. US companies account for nearly 42% of all office take-up in India, while Indian companies are just around 23%. So more US companies take office space in India than Indian companies. Again, an indicator that if the US economy does well, India will obviously do well, which is happening today. On the retail market trends, I'll quickly run through this. What we have seen is overall supply drastically reducing. In 2011, there was 13 million square feet. Last year, just around 1 million square feet of retail came up in the country. So huge drop in supply. Obviously, because the supply is low, it's impacted demand also. On the residential market, again, look at 2012, close to 80,000 units were being sold in the top 7 cities in the fourth quarter of 2012. Around 85,000 units were being sold. Look at, was a new launches, sorry, that's new launches not being sold. Look at the amount of new launches dropped to around 60%. In terms of absorption, again, if you look at first quarter 2013, there were close to 55,000 units which are being absorbed. Absorbed meaning being bought by various buyers. Now that's down to around the 42,000 kind of mark. So that's where we see residential, huge amount of unsold inventory, a lot of pain. A lot of developers today are under tremendous pain across India. So if you're a home buyer, advice is take a checkbook, go sit in front of the developer and write whatever price you feel is right. And there's a good chance he could still lean forward and take your check. So good time to get in because of the various stress involved in the market. Again, in terms of how the residential markets have behaved, so if you look at the second quarter of 2009, when the markets kind of went